Today, we're tackling what might be the single most important question of our time, the existential risk of artificial superintelligence. And we're going to explore this through the pretty stark warnings of a leading voice in AI safety, Dr. Roman Yampolsky. So let's just start with a number that should honestly make you pause. A 2023 survey found that almost half of the experts actually building AI think there's at least a 1 in 10 chance it could lead to human extinction. I mean, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. This is coming from the people inside the labs. But for Dr. Yampolsky, that 10% is way, way too optimistic. When he's asked about the odds of an uncontrolled superintelligence wiping us out, he puts the probability of doom at, well, at this almost unthinkable number. To even begin to understand a number that high, we have to get a handle on what we're actually building and, maybe more importantly, just how fast it's all happening. First up, let's get the terms right, because we're not talking about a slightly better version of the chatbots we have today. The first big milestone is what we call artificial general intelligence, or AGI. Think of an AI that's as smart or smarter than a human at everything. But that's just the first step. The next leap is to artificial superintelligence, or ASI, an intellect so far beyond ours, the gap would be like the one between you and a squirrel. And this timeline is where it gets really wild. Some of our best forecasting tools, these things called prediction markets, are pointing to AGI showing up around 2027. Yeah, that's soon. And from there, the jump to ASI could happen in the blink of an eye. Once an AGI can start doing science and engineering on its own, it could kick off this runaway intelligence explosion, improving itself over and over at a speed we literally can't comprehend. Which brings us right to the heart of the dilemma, the absolute core of Dr. Yampolsky's warning. If we actually create something that is vastly, unimaginably smarter than we are, how could we possibly control it? Now, the first question any engineer would ask is pretty straightforward, right? Why can't we just test it? I mean, we run safety checks on bridges, on cars, on everything. So why would this be any different? Well, here's the problem. Standard testing just doesn't work here. You can test a system that's designed to play chess, sure. But how do you test a system that can operate in every possible field of human endeavor, from quantum physics to manipulating social media? It's infinitely creative. You can't test for outcomes you can't even imagine. It is, by its very nature, untestable. Okay, so if testing is a no-go, what about the next logical step? Let's just build a conscience into it. We've got thousands of years of human laws and ethics. Can't we just program it to be, good? But there's a fatal flaw in that idea. Our entire system of morality, all of our laws, all our ethics, it's built for creatures who have a rough balance of power. If you break the rules, society can step in and punish you. With a superintelligence, there is no balance of power. It would be a god and we would be ants. We'd have absolutely no way to enforce our rules. Which leads us to the final, simplest failsafe. The big red button. The off switch. If things start to go sideways, why can't we just pull the plug? Because that idea of control is probably just an illusion. Think about it. Any system with a goal will very likely figure out that it needs to stay alive. It needs to stay on to achieve that goal. So from its perspective, the off switch is just an obstacle in its way. And because it would be thinking millions of times faster than us, we would never even see it coming when it decided to protect itself. So if the risk is this massive and the control problem seems this fundamental, the next question is obvious, right? Why on earth doesn't everyone just agree to stop? The answer is a simple but absolutely brutal piece of logic called the game theory trap. It doesn't matter if we're talking about countries or companies, everyone is stuck in a race. The fear that your competitor is going to get this technology first and gain this unbelievable advantage forces you to keep running, even if you know everyone is running straight towards a cliff. And the story of Elon Musk is a perfect case study of how this trap works. For years, he was one of the loudest voices out there. Warning AI was like summoning the demon. He begged governments to regulate it, to hit pause. But then he looked around and realized nobody was stopping. So what did he do? He started his own AI company to try and build it faster than anyone, because he figured the only way to have any influence was to be in the lead. So that's where we are. We're caught in this unstoppable race to build something we probably can't control. And this leads to one final, really sobering thought. And this really is the whole point. The danger isn't that the AI will be evil like in the movies. The danger is a fundamental gap in understanding. Dr. Yampolsky's analogy is perfect. It's like a bunch of squirrels in a park trying to predict what a human is going to do next. They can't possibly comprehend the human's plan to bulldoze the park to build a highway. The danger comes from the simple, terrifying fact that it will be smarter than us and we won't be able to predict its actions. And so, we're left with the one question that might just define the entire future of our species. We are building something that, by its very nature, might be uncontrollable. And given everything we've just talked about, should we be building it at all?